In 2003, I first went to Africa, and God deposited his heart for these people and this place. We were working with street children. I saw young children living on the streets, and it was hard for me to reconcile what I saw there with my world here. And I told God, if you call me to move here, I will. And what the calling was to be an advocate, to gather people, do music concerts, something I love to do, and to do something to make a difference for the least of these. In 2008, I met Jenny Williamson after I saw on the front page of the paper here the issue of trafficking of children in our own country as well as overseas. And I also knew then I was supposed to do something. And so that's when I wrote a song called Believe in Me. We launched benefit concerts. The community rose up to do something. And Joel, as a pastor, started doing his part with pastors and leaders.
What we did in Elk Grove is we saw the need, and as we heard Jenny, we caught the vision, and we got together the first concert and raised a significant amount of money to help that start. And then as I got more, and Stephanie and I got more involved at Courage House and working with the girls, and eventually going over to Tanzania on several different trips. And what God's been doing in us is getting us emotionally healthy. That's part of the Courage training, and that's something that's we're training pastors and leaders over there. Getting emotionally healthy enough to stay in the fight so that we can be about doing kingdom things and going into darkness and rescuing people. So those things go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm. Last year we were feeling a shift, and it was at the time where Courage Worldwide had the word expansion for the year. And so expansion of rescuing more girls from trafficking, expansion of our work in the community. And we started feeling a tug to do more in Africa. So we ended up Joel took a sabbatical, went over there for 3 months to see what doors there were, working with Courage House, working with our staff, training the community. There's a big response. In a very short time, Courage House expanded. We brought more girls home. We expanded from 6 girls to 12 girls and 2 babies. So we started seeing this happen, as well as partnerships in the community and in the church. And the pastors responded in a big way in Tanzania to training on emotional health, as well as what is human trafficking and what they can do to make a difference. And then we recently just went over a month ago. We went to go continue the work over there. We are starting to still feel a little more tug for Africa, and so much happened in this short amount of time. By the time we left a month later, this opportunity to buy property, to expand Courage House to up to 40 girls now happened. A pastor and his wife, who are friends of ours, came with us, and they saw the need, and their church in 1 week raised the funding to buy this property for Courage Worldwide so that we can expand to 40 girls. We thank Trinity Lutheran and Joy and Nathan Hoff for seeing that vision. We thank Living Water Church, our church, for getting behind, getting these homes open and having a heart for Africa. And it became apparent to us as we came back that there's so much to do there, and God's calling us to be a part of that, expansion.
And it's a full circle moment for us and for me. I grew up in Madagascar and planted the church that we're in right now, Living Water, 18 years ago, and it was one of those calls. You couldn't argue with it. Mm-hmm. And that's how we feel now is God has made this indisputable call that we can't refuse. Mm-hmm. And so that's the full circle moment of going back and working where in the area close to where my father and my grandfather worked many years ago.
And one thing that happened was a massive, when we were in Tanzania, is I met with a top government leader, and the government of Tanzania wants to adopt a Not My Country campaign. A large group of pastors and a church wants to also adopt the Not My Country campaign. And so these doors are really opening to shift things there. And we believe more expansion will not only happen in that country of Tanzania, but also other parts as we go out and offer training and people who want resources for this. There's a huge need for homes for girls that are recovered from trafficking, and that's what we were told and found. And we've recently just announced that we feel called to go full time, and we've been telling our pastors and leaders and staff, and they've seen this on us. They're so supportive and blessing us to go. We're recent empty nesters, and so it's the season that God's saying, do it. We put our house on the market last week, and in 5 days we had 7 offers, and the 6th day we signed an offer and the house is sold. So it's like all these things are lining up to go, and we're excited for what the future holds. I also think about the legacy. My father passed away 6 months ago today, and I have his hat, and he was an adventurer and had the adventure spirit, and he deposited that in my heart, a heart for missions, a heart for generosity, a heart for being adventuresome, and just having that legacy is something I want to carry on. We want our sons to have that same legacy, our church, that do what God's calling you to do and be His voice in His hands and His feet to make a difference. And we're stepping out of the boat, we're walking on water, we're trusting God and all that He's going to do, and trusting that lives will be changed for forever.